obviously we can all see the value of things in our life. Like, having good transportation to work every day is really, really important. But there are things that you really, really, really notice the value when they're not there. And for me, that would be my wife, right? Like if my wife, she's leaving town this week for like 3 days, and by the second day, the kids will be missing. There'll be like wild animals in the house. I'll be eating dry cereal for dinner. The living room will look like the set of Castaway, and my credit score will plummet within like 48 hours. Like when my wife leaves me, I'm like a lost little puppy, and I never know it more. Not that I don't know it when she's there, but when she leaves, I'm like, man overboard. And so I'm sitting there watching football this weekend, and I think the NFC is really good. I think there's a bunch of good teams. I think Seattle's good and Philly's good. I think the Rams are good. I think Minnesota's good. The Saints are good. But I'm watching this weekend the AFC, and Brady and Big Ben did not play. Boy, can you see how mediocre the AFC is with no Tom Brady playing and no Big Ben playing. Right now, the Steelers would be the number one seed. The Patriots would be the number 2 seed. They'd be getting byes, then playing at home. Look at the teams after them right now. Kansas City Chiefs. Really? How long have I been telling you about Alex Smith? Going to trust him? November, December, January? Okay. Titans. Going to trust them? A BB gun offense, really, against Big Ben? Tom Brady? Jaguars, Blake Bortles, December, January. Warm weather team goes north. Okay. Bills, Thursday, can't play from behind. One-trick pony. I mean, you start looking right now at the AFC, and I don't know all the teams that are getting in, but it's a bunch of wannabes, never-beens, could have been, should have been, would have been, what-ifs, and Brady and Big Ben. I mean, Alex Smith yesterday, he's got a great creative head coach, perfect weather, tons of weapons against the Dallas pass defense, which is regrettable, and he had one big play in 3.5 hours, which was essentially a punt return. If you take that one big play out, you saw that end of the half, Alex Smith had a TD, a pick, and 200 yards. Welcome to his career, 86 passer rating. We said this years ago about the show 2.5 Men. You never understood Charlie Sheen's value until he left that show. And you're like, wow, Charlie Sheen was he really kind of made that show, didn't he? Yeah, still had the good director, good producers, good co-stars, interesting storylines. It was never the same show when Charlie Sheen left. And with Big Ben and Brady on the sidelines yesterday in the AFC, it is a whole bunch of pretenders. It is BB gun offenses, B to B minus quarterbacks, woulda, coulda, shouldas, never have. Wow, was that obvious with Kansas City. Perfect weather. Pass defense of the Cowboys. All sorts of weapons. One big play in 3.5 hours. All right, I want to shift gears to an old trick that somebody taught me years and years and years ago in television. It was an executive, and he's a real smart guy. And he said, in television, there's a secret that when you watch a show, you're trying to find a co-host, you're trying to find a host, you're trying to turn the sound down. Don't listen to them talk. Turn the sound down and watch people. And you'll tell their confidence, their chemistry. Are they listening to their co-anchors? Or are they just waiting to talk? It's an old trick in television. And so you can tell confidence and chemistry. And you watch football, very much the same situation. That if you turn the sound down when you watch football, do it for 3 or 4 minutes. No crowd reactions, which affects you emotionally. No announcer bias. Your local guy telling you how great the local team is. Nobody telling you what you saw. Your own observations. What you get is the real truth about football. And when you watch the Dallas Cowboys and those defensive and offensive lines, turn the sound down. That is a team capable of winning the Super Bowl. They can gain a yard anytime they want, generally 2. And they are long, physical, young, and athletic on that defensive line. We called this out 3 weeks ago. We said, forget the offensive line. Watch the Cowboys' defensive line. DeMarcus Lawrence, that's a Pro Bowler. David Irving, excellent. Taco Charlton, young kid out of Michigan, getting better. There are 6 teams right now in the NFL that if you turn the sound down on your TV and you just watch them, Philadelphia, Dallas, Seattle, the Rams, New England, and Pittsburgh, they look different. Now, I'm not saying they won't have injuries. I'm not saying a good team like Los Angeles could go on the road and play in Philadelphia in a snowstorm and win. But don't buy New Orleans. The best 2 teams New Orleans has played this year, at Minnesota and New England, they lost. And by the way, Kansas City's been good, but turn the sound down on Kansas City. That defensive line, mediocre, and that quarterback, just a guy. But the Cowboys lead the NFC in sacks, and they lead the NFC in pressures. And it's not like they faced a bunch of stiffs at quarterback. They've faced Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Alex Smith, Jared Goff, and remember they opened when Eli had all his weapons. When you looked at that game yesterday with Dallas, that was a blowout. I don't care what the score was. That was a blowout. That was a team that got yards whenever they needed it. And whenever they had to take over the game on offensive and the defensive line, they totally handcuffed Kansas City. So the old turn the sound down trick, no bias, no emotions, no announcer. It is what you see when you watch a team play. And football is always about line play out. Football out. It's not about perimeter in. That's why I always say wide receivers are the icing, the lines are the cake. That Cowboy team, and there are 6 in the league right now, I think my Super Bowl 6, they simply look different. I don't buy Kansas City, don't yet buy Minnesota because of their quarterback situation, and I don't buy the Saints. Eagles, Cowboys, Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Steelers. And I didn't even have to see the Patriots and Steelers. I've already done the turn down trick so far this year. All right, good to have you on a Monday. It is amazing how cyclical football is. And stuff gets introduced into the market, and it gets hot. And then it leaves, it gets stale, and we're like, yeah, that'll never work. And then it gets reintroduced into the market, and it gets hot again. And something is happening in the NFL. And like 5-6 years ago, I was like, wow, the game has really changed. And there's something happening in the NFL that I noticed, and I think you're going to really see it in the next month. Something that everybody was off of, nobody bought into, everybody criticized, you don't need it anymore, has now become an incredibly valuable thing, and there's data to back it up that we left this thing too early.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.